Bitcoin is a risk asset. As long as the stock market's going up, even if it's up not huge on the day like today, it's going to breed some money flowing into Bitcoin. Also, when you look at what the Chinese are doing, what the U.S. has done, what all these central banks are doing, you can understand why people would want to invest in Bitcoin as potentially a digital gold to offset the fiat currency print, right?
Bitcoin Zella stands out with its simplicity and clarity. We've crafted an experience that anyone can dive into, whether you're a crypto expert or just a new to the crypto world. Now guess who keeps his eye on us? The author of best-selling book Rich Dad Poor Dad, Robert Kiyosaki. And we want to take this opportunity and thank all the people who trusted us, and we read every comment. And the best part, it's free. Subscribing now means you will get all new information for free. Don't just follow the trends, stay ahead of them. Subscribe to Bitcoin Zella today and enjoy the new edge. In this video, let's talk about Bitcoin and more.
You want to find these charts when you go back long distances, you generally want to use logarithmic because, again, logarithmic bases things on percentages versus price movement. And again, when you go back this far, to find a trend line, a lot of trend lines would be like this, right? I mean, it would be so vertical that it's almost impossible to figure out. But when you do it logarithmically, you can see again that you get these highs, you connect these highs, and this gives us right around this 2660 a potential short-term resistance on gold. All right, now again, could gold blow through it? It could, but probabilities for me at least are flipping towards the negative side in the near term versus long term. I still think it's going higher, but near term, maybe a little bit of a pullback here. All right, we got to look at Bitcoin real quick here on the day. Bitcoin again pushing up a little bit on the day here, and let me just bring it back to our charts here and zooming in just a little bit here. All right, here we go. So again, what we're struggling at here, if we look at this chart, we can see that we have a key consolidation zone right here, and it's trying to break above that. The 200 moving average comes right above like that. Again, if you can get through this 200 MA right here, you should go up to 68,000 to 68,500. Remember, my bullish-bearish pivot line, once we confirmed above, bias flipped from bearish to bullish. And so far, that's been the case in point of looking like it wants to continue up. And just a reminder that as long as the narrative keeps getting flipped every time it turns slightly bearish, the stock market narrative gets flipped to bullish, Bitcoin is a risk asset. As long as the stock market's going up, even if it's up not huge on the day like today, it's going to breed some money flowing into Bitcoin. Also, when you look at what the Chinese are doing, what the U.S. has done, what all these central banks are doing, you can understand why people would want to invest in Bitcoin as potentially a digital gold to offset the fiat currency print, right? So again, multiple factors there of why it could go up. The only thing on Bitcoin that you want to be aware of, if you're bullish, you're bearish, whatever it is, doesn't matter. The charts are indifferent, right? But if you do break below the pivot line and confirm, that's where you need to step back right away because it could drop very quickly all the way down here and all the way down here. So again, you have your lines on the charts. Now let price tell us the direction that it's going to go. All right, we have to talk about silver today. Silver, early in the day when I did my game plan, it wasn't doing a whole lot. It was up slightly on the day. By this afternoon, it was ripping, right? And again, this was all about China. So if we look at silver here, guys, silver, again, an industrial metal. And this really proves it, right? Yeah, gold's up, but look at how silver was kind of sideways, continuing to hammer on this zone right here, this trend line right in here. And then today, after the Chinese news about maybe their economy starts to recover, silver rips higher. Now, you do have resistance right here at 32.50. That's your short-term resistance. If you can break through 32.50, 35 is your next key resistance level. But beautiful move on silver, folks. And again, as long as that narrative stays that the U.S. won't have a recession, now maybe China's emerging from or could be emerging from their recession, that's bullish for things like copper, nickel, zinc, aluminum, silver, all of these type of things, even oil. Now, I say narrative because I'm kind of on the fence in terms of I'm not a buyer of the narratives, right? I'm someone who I pride myself on looking at the data and coming up with my own conclusion. And ultimately, I've seen too many shenanigans with the Fed, with the U.S. government, with lots of these things that make me think that when they're saying, hey, it's going to be a perfect landing, it's not going to be any issues, when the media is kind of spewing that, it makes me think, watch out. Something's on the horizon. Markets are priced to perfection.
Sell-side risk for Bitcoin has hit its lowest point in 2024, with sellers showing little interest in offloading their BTC despite prices being just 15% below record highs. On-chain data highlights strong network activity and positive sentiment among investors. CryptoQuant's data reveals that Bitcoin's sell-side risk ratio has collapsed, sitting below 20,000, compared to nearly 80,000 during March's price peak. Sellers are showing little interest in offloading BTC despite price volatility. Bitcoin's on-chain data shows a daily average of $500 million in realized profits, reflecting a healthy and active network despite lower sell-side pressure. Short-term holders have re-entered profit zones after months of uncertainty, with an estimated cost basis of around $62,250. Bitcoin is currently just $10,000 away from its all-time high, yet few investors seem eager to sell, signaling strong market confidence and potential further price gains. With sell-side risk at a low and network activity robust, Bitcoin is poised for continued upward momentum as investor confidence remains strong.
So if we look at the heat map, you can see the heat map is a mixed bag, but the technology, NVIDIA up 3.77%. All right, Google's trading up on the day, so just the fact that NVIDIA is sizably higher is helping the NASDAQ have a nice solid day. Looking at the charts here, guys, let's take a look. We have the Dow up about 93 points. Not a big move there, but nonetheless a little bit of a move. The NASDAQ is trading up 93 as well. The S&P up 14. So you can see that the indices are not up huge, but earlier today, again, and we'll look at the chart on an intraday basis in just a second on the S&P, we were down, and then that flow came in as the narrative kick-started in. And it was almost as if it was very contrived. 10:30 on the button, 10:30 a.m., 1 hour in, it flipped like a switch. And we'll look at that. All right, oil today getting a small bounce. That makes sense, right? Industrial metals today, oil, anything that has to do with charts and economic growth, that ultimately catapulted us to the upside in those things. So silver, copper, oil, all positive on the day, as again, the concept being that if China's going to start to do better, that's going to take up a lot of these industrial metals. Oil production will have to come and meet China in terms of their demand. Okay, what we saw on gold, further upside in gold, but look at the price on gold, $26.61. What level have I talked about you guys being in or being ready to see a target price hit on gold? $26.60. This has now been achieved. I did go short today on gold just a little bit. Remember, I'm a short-term trader, so I'm looking for a pullback on gold over the next couple days to the next couple weeks. We'll keep an eye on that trade there. Bitcoin today up just a little bit today. Again, showing a little bit of strength, trying to break through the 200 moving average on the daily chart. If it does, 68,000 and change would be your next target.
Michael Saylor, co-founder of MicroStrategy, endorsed BlackRock's recent bullish comments on Bitcoin. BlackRock's head of digital assets, Robbie Mitchnick, described Bitcoin as a global, decentralized, and non-sovereign asset, gaining popularity amid economic uncertainties. Robbie Mitchnick emphasized Bitcoin's role as a scarce, decentralized, and non-sovereign asset, appealing to investors concerned about money printing, fiat currency devaluation, and global economic challenges. Mitchnick pointed out that Bitcoin's mix of risk-on and risk-off qualities resonates with investors, adding that key developments this year have increased its fundamental value. The fourth Bitcoin halving and the approval of spot Bitcoin ETF by the SEC have been major catalysts for Bitcoin's growth in 2023. After a period of zero inflows, BlackRock's spot Bitcoin ETF gained $98.9 million in inflows on September 24, outpacing other Bitcoin ETF from Bitwise, Fidelity, and Grayscale. With growing institutional support and inflows into Bitcoin ETF, Bitcoin's long-term potential as a global financial asset continues to solidify. Elon Musk applauded President Nayib Bukel's UN address, where Bukel defended his administration's record on freedom of speech and political opposition. The praise comes as Bukel continues to champion Bitcoin and maintain close ties with Musk. While Musk continues to back Bukel, critics argue that the Salvadoran president's claims about freedom of speech are at odds with El Salvador's press freedom ranking and political controversies. If you've been with us so far, a big thank you. Don't forget to subscribe for free to Bitcoin Zella for your daily news. The link is waiting below. That's all for today's crypto news. Stick around for more updates, insights, and analysis on cryptocurrencies. Share your thoughts in the comments, like this video, and subscribe for more exciting content.